What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shane Hoffman. In today's episode, we're going over how my client, Donnie, went from this here to this here. We're going to talk about exactly how he did it, some of the things and some of the tactics and methodologies I used to train him, and some of the things that we did, but mainly the effort on his end, because even though I'm the coach, it's his work that gets him ultimately to where he wants to be. So what he did on his end to go from here to here. All right, so to start, a little background on the situation with my client here without going too personal, because trainer-client confidentiality, right? But to start off, when I first met Donnie, he was recovering. He had recovered from an arm injury. He broke his arm and had a surgery on it, and he was rehabbing his arm a little bit, and he was finally wanting to start getting back into shape. I started working with him around the late 2021. And he wanted to get back into shape as, that whole COVID thing happened. And he, didn't really do anything during that time period. He wanted to get back at it and really get crushing it. And so we had an eval meeting where we talked. And one thing I stressed to him and I stressed to Donnie, and I continue to stress it to him today, even with his success that he has and the future success that he will have as we continue working together, is it's the long-term game. We sat down and I told him, look, this is a long-term game. There's going to be no short, quick fixes. As you can see, this is transformation from that picture was taken a couple weeks ago now, and we started working together late 2021. It is now almost 2024. We are less than a month away from 2024. So it takes a while to get from point A to point B, right? It takes a while to get to where you want to be. And it's mostly a habit thing. This is not I'm going to give you a meal plan. You're going to do the meal plan, eat a bunch of foods you don't like, work out super hard 3 to 5 days a week, and you get what you want in 2 months. No, because that is a short-term approach that doesn't get you any long-term results. It doesn't fix any habits that you have with food or exercise. It doesn't fix your relationship with food or exercise. So we decided to do what I always do when I coach my clients, is go the long-term route. How are we going to make little habit changes today that are going to set you up for your future success? Because that is ultimately the way to be successful and set you up for a lifetime of success. So the first thing Donnie did, and the first thing that we did together, was get him to understand that this is a lifelong commitment. That working out and training and eating healthy and getting enough sleep and properly hydrating is a lifelong commitment. We didn't do it in a 2-month sprint. We decided that we understood this was a marathon, and we were going to take our time and address habits little by little. And even when it comes to his exercises, we weren't going to attack everything at once, right? At least the way I train my clients is we want to make sure everything's done right and done with intent. So we looked at his squat, we looked at his presses. We knew he had an arm issue, so we decided to strengthen up areas around that elbow joint, right? Without straining it too much in the beginning. Now we're at the point to where Donnie is a really well-rounded athlete, and we'll get into his training there. Not too much detail into it, but we'll get the idea surrounding his training methodologies and how we developed it. But now we're at the point where he's a pretty dang good athlete, and he's a lot more conditioned, definitely than more what he used to be. And one thing that he said that I am very happy to hear is he feels like he's back in his 20s and his 40s. And yes, the picture of him there, he is 40 years old, so it is possible. Okay, so after understanding that it's a long-term game, right, Donnie understood that we're going to have to build some habits. Now, if you ask him here, right, if you ask him how his first day of training was, he'll probably tell you, very boring. And that's because it was very slow and very methodical. We wanted to make sure he was moving from the right muscles. We didn't just have him do push-ups and pull-ups and bench presses and squats and deadlifts, right? It was methodical. It was, I want you to do this row, but I'm going to have you unshrug, pull, hold. Do you feel those muscles working there? Yes or no? Do you feel your upper trap getting involved? Same thing with his pushes, with his squats and his deadlift, very slow. When he would sit into his squat, I would ask him where he's feeling this. We would understand proper core bracing and making sure that we're not arching through our back when we stand, and we're keeping our nose over our toes and standing up at slow at the count of 10 to make sure we feel our legs and make sure we're doing things properly. We would do a lot of corrective work. He had a lot of injuries, especially on that arm when we first started working together. And the goal was to build a good foundation to build a house off, not to just dump a house everywhere and the bricks are poorly built because the foundation sucks and everything was crashing down. We wanted to build a strong foundation to build off. Habits. We built habits. We started out only working out twice a week. Now Donnie's doing 4 days a week, twice with me, 2 on his own. But we started out 2 times a week. I said, you're just going to meet me here twice a week for now. That's it. Okay, maybe some cardio on your own. We'll get into that in a couple weeks. And that's how we're gonna go from there. As we continue to evolve, as Donnie continued to adapt and to get better and to develop new habits, our program changed. We changed into more of a strength type of program where we built up his strength. We wanted to get him strong. So we did a very low rep range with some higher weights. We played around with his conditioning, with muscle endurance, and we did a lot of supersetting with conditioning exercises, which although is not good on a strength standpoint, it is great from a muscle endurance standpoint and a cardiovascular standpoint to help him get some cardio in there. That was a more of a fun way. We played around with standard hypertrophy, 3 sets, 4 sets of 10 to 12 rep ranges. Sometimes if you push 15, it's more muscle endurance, but every now and then we'd throw that in there. We'd get his tissues actually working. We had hypertrophy blocks in there. We had months where that was the main focus of just straight sets, right? His program, of course, consisted of the movement patterns that I think to be most important, as they are most important, which is a squat, a hinge, a push, a pull, a lunge, a carry. We've done all these movements and we continue to do all these movements. The exercises may have changed, right? And of course, a conditioning component to it. The exercises may have changed, but we still utilize a version of them to this day. For example, we use a push-up or a dumbbell bench press or a barbell bench press. We will do a squat. We will do a deadlift. We will do a split squat, or we will do a sled push. We will do sled push, obviously helps with leg development and conditioning. We'll do a glute bridge, right? We'll do a bridge. We'll do a side lunge. We'll do a walking lunge. As you can see, we incorporate all of those movement patterns, or we'll do a weighted carry as well, right? I mentioned carry. Carry is something that we incorporated. These are all types of things that we did surrounding his program, and we programmed it and sequenced it in the right fashion, in the right way, so that way he can get the results he wanted, right? And that was from an exercise standpoint. Now, that's the things him and I did together. What did Donnie do on his own? He showed up. I'm going to be honest with you. Donnie is one of the clients that I have. I have a few clients like this that doesn't miss, rarely ever. He rarely calls out. And if he does, it's always for a good reason. And he is consistent. Donnie shows up, and he shows up every day. And I know he shows up on his own because he'll either send me proof of it, or we get to our next training session and he's better than where he was when I last saw him. He shows up. He does half the battle. He's where he is now because he showed up and he did the work, and now he is enjoying the benefits of it. He's enjoying the benefits of the feeling better and more comfortable in his skin in the picture you saw, and he has got more improved energy, more improved sleep, and he's obviously, what he said to me was he felt like from now he's in his 40s, again, that picture, he's 40 years old, so there's no excuses here. If he can do it at 40, you can do it, right? Age is no longer an excuse here. He said he feels like he did, like he's in his 20s again. He showed up. The next habit we focused on was nutrition. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you guys, full disclosure. A lot of the success Donnie had was in the last 3 to 5 months of training. And the reason why he was most successful these last few months was we finally got him fully dialed into his eating. Eating was a struggle for him, and I don't think he'd have a problem me saying that, because it's a struggle with most of people. So I think he'd be more than happy to tell his story about Donnie likes his cake. He likes his coffee and cake. He would have it every morning, as he'd tell me, right? But these last few months, especially, I'd say the last 6 months-ish, Donnie's been weaning off it. He's been weaning off his little sugar craving there, and he really hasn't had many sweets at all, maybe once a week or even less than that. I remember there's a month stretch. This month especially, I know Christmas is coming up, so he'll enjoy himself there, but this whole month stretch from November forward, he didn't really have any sweets at all. And why? Because he's dialed in, and he understands this is what I have to do if I want to be where I want to be. And now he's seeing the rewards and the benefits from that. Most people aren't willing to put that in, but guess what? We talked about it. What we did is we set habits in place where I said, okay, here's what you're going to do, man. Every Saturday, you can eat your cake, whatever you want. But Monday to Friday and Sunday, I want you to be clean. But Saturday, I want you to eat that cake. And you know what? It worked. We gave him strategies that didn't make him feel like he was suffering. We gave him foods, we brainstormed foods to eat that were healthy, that he enjoyed. We built a meal plan around that together. It didn't take a week. It didn't take a month. It took months to figure out the foods that made him feel good versus made him feel bad versus the ones he liked for his breakfast, his lunch, his dinner, what meal frequency was good. It took months of working together to figure out his meal plan that would work best for him. He put in the work, he made the sacrifices, and now he is reaping the fruits of which he sowed. Now he is enjoying the fruits of his labor because he put in the work, not just on the exercise battlefield, but on the nutritional war room as well, right? He's put in the work in his exercise, and he's put in the work in his nutrition. And guess what? This wasn't just me telling him what to do. This was effort on him. This is what he did. I can give as many recommendations as I want, but at the end of the day, I can't force him to eat the healthy food and to not skip the cake. But he put in that effort. It was worth it enough to him. And guess what? Now he's down 20 pounds. That's right. This is how my client lost 20 pounds. Is because he put the necessary effort in to achieve what he wanted to achieve. And that is how he became successful. And of course, I got to say, how we got him from point A to point B was just understanding there is no point B. Like I said at the beginning, he understood this is a long-term game. He understood that he had to have his exercise in check, his nutrition in check, and now we continue to fine-tune things and keep pushing that envelope, understanding when he needs breaks, when he needs deload weeks, understanding when to listen to his body, understanding proper programming, understanding his nutritional protocols, and also his sleep and hydration. We played around with stuff like that and understood what we needed to do from a sleep and hydration point to get him where he wanted to be, and that was he needed to recover. So we came up with recovery protocols for him. He got 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. He drank plenty of water throughout the day, recently adding in some hydration stuff in there. And this is how we did it. Nothing fancy. As you can see, some of you may be disappointed from this video, hoping that there would be a short, quick thing or a fancy little thing, but no, guys, no. He crushed the basics and he committed, and that's how he did it. You have to crush the basics and commit, and that's how you do it, and it just takes time.